We are back. It is the Michigan Football Report. Guys, look, I told you we're going to come back till August. It is July, so we are back at it, basking in the national championship glory. We've got some things to talk about, right? This team starts fall camp next week. There is a big update at quarterback. You are going to want to hear the latest coming out of these informal 7-on-7 workouts. The QB battle may not be what you think it is going into fall camp and then going into that first game on August 31st. So we're talking some quarterback battle rumors, right? Alex Orji, Jack Tuttle, maybe even some Jaden Davis later on, or I guess to start today's show. Then talk about the summer, right? A lot of informal workouts, working out in the weight room, informal 7-on-7s drills, not supposed to be monitored by the coaches, but we're getting some little intel trickling out from some sources at Schembechler Hall. And then to end the show, low energy, crying Ryan Day, Big Ten Media Day, just making all kinds of excuses. I'll give you my take on Ohio State's hot seat embattled coach who just can't seem to get a win against Michigan unless he has Urban Meyer's players. But before we start the show, I want to ask you guys, if you've yet to subscribe to the show, hell, if it's your first time watching the Michigan Football Report, hit that subscribe button. As we get into August, we're going to start doing daily shows, just like we've done the past 4 seasons. So give us a subscribe. And if you've watched the show in the past, if you've subscribed for a long time and you like what you see, make sure to share the link, youtube.com/MichiganTV, in your group chats, in your text threads, in your Facebook groups of fellow like-minded national championship level Michigan football fans. New screen today, Jack? New intro screen? Got a little new intro video for you. It's the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. Let's get going right now. When you lose the greatest head coach in the history of the program, the greatest quarterback in the history of the Big Ten, and 18 other starters, all eyes are going to be on first-year head coach Sherrone Moore, who, by the way, was the head coach when they beat Ohio State, and his first quarterback battle. A lot of unproven guys. You got Jaden Davis, the 4-star freshman quarterback, formerly 6-star, if you remember, Jack, but he didn't have as good of a senior season as the JY365 anticipated. In Big Ten Media Days, wrapping up right now, we are going to tell you what we have heard, not just at Big Ten Media Days, but they tell the blog boys and the water-carrying journalists what's actually happening on the field with this team as we lead into fall camp. The tail of the tape is between these two guys, right? One of these two young men, well, not even a young man, I think like a father of 3, Jack Tuttle, right? The guy's already 25 years old, and he's going into his 7th season as a college football quarterback. He was at Utah. He was at Indiana, now in his 2nd season at Michigan, versus Alex Orji, right? The comp for these two guys, the ceiling, right? If they play their absolute best, Jack Tuttle is Cade McNamara, right? Big Ten champion Cade McNamara, and we've got Alex Orji's Jalen Milroe, right? Alabama's quarterback was a play away from taking Michigan into double overtime. 6'4" versus 6'3". Orji looks like an absolute beast out there. He's like a 6'3" LeBron James at 236 pounds, absolutely ripped. 5 passing yards, right? 1 completed pass in his entire career, while Tuttle has 2 starts in college football and got a little bit of action last year as well. They really haven't let Orji, other than one time in 2022 as a true freshman, throw the ball with in his college football career. Knowing who we've got on there before we dive into the rest of the show, give me your confidence level, right? We haven't done a show with you in about 3-4 months, and that's fine. You've had all summer here about Ohio State and Oregon and Texas, how good they're going to be and how Michigan's going to take a step back, and all the pundits and scribes saying that. How confident are you headed into the 2024 Michigan football season? Scale it downside 1 all the way up to 10. Let me know down in the comments. Look, I'm at a 10. I am 100% at a 10. Last year's Houston or bust. Some people have given Jack and I credit. I'm not going to say Jim Harbaugh send me a personal written note and say, thank you for motivating the team. Houston or bust really changed the culture around here. I'm not going to say Bosa was the reason, but I'm not going to say it, okay? Things are kept private. Things are kept confidential between professionals in and around this program. But I'm 100% at a 10. It is Atlanta or bust where the national championship will take place. Like almost in February. It's like January 21st, something like that, given that it's a 12-team playoff now this season. All right, let's keep rolling on the Michigan Football Report. More quarterback battle rumors. But before we tell you more about Jack Tuttle, Alex Orji, who's going to win, big announcement here. Bouncing number 1. Jack, come on screen with me for a second. You might say, Jack, you look like a priest, but now we're manifesting. As you guys know, the last couple seasons, Jack has got the nickname of Young Harbaugh. His name's Jack, which is Jim Harbaugh's dad's name, so he named him after his father. And so we got him the jerseys to commemorate the 2024 season. Jack, show the people Young Harbaugh, number 24, rocking it. So that is that. Now, also a little announcement. Jet Sports is in the middle. We got the big construction call on Monday. 11,000 square foot office build out. I'm going to have really, a palatial office myself, my own conference room, etc. So down that hallway, Jack, Natty Hall of Fame, right? So we're going to have, and I haven't got all of them yet, we have the Blake Corum jersey framed up there, right? All the guys who brought us all the jerseys. We have a Donovan Edwards, right? The Don. We're going to have that. Donovan Edwards. We have, of course, JJ McCarthy. Jack, you got your own JJ. I got my own JJ. We got these up. We've been collecting them to remodel the thing. I'm going to be missing 2 jerseys now, right? So Mikey Sainristil just came this week. Mikey Sainristil, we got this one. I'm going to get Roman Wilson. I kind of equate those 5 guys as the ones that made the plays at the times. Maybe Will Johnson can be put in there, but he's going to be on this year's team. I kind of felt. I know Donovan Edwards is, but he's been at least at the school for 3 years. And he had the 2 touchdowns in the national championship game. Outside of that, I'm collecting pro jerseys. I'm not a jersey guy at all, but I got the JJ jersey. I said the Blake Corum one, the Blake Corum show up there. I think I'm going to get a Roman Wilson and a Mike Sainristil. They're not going to get framed, though. It's going to be the 5 pillars of the team are going to get it, Jack. So that is going to be the 2185 area of the office. That's going to be down the hallway. It's the Natty. And we're going to make Goldman's desk right next to it. Ohio State grad Matt Goldman here with us today. So maybe not, but maybe. All right, back. Go ahead, Jack.
I was just going to say, watch out.
Watch out. All right, back to the quarterbacks. As you guys saw, the little remodel Jersey boys. It's going to cost, you guys know, doing framing jerseys is, you think it'd be like $100. It's like $350.
It's ridiculous.
It's absurd. It's going to cost like $2,000 to frame those 5 jerseys. It's preposterous. But let's talk about some Jack Tuttle. 60% completion in his 6 years as a college football player. Only started 2 games. Ironically, after, what's his name from Washington, Michael Penix, got hurt in the COVID 2020 season. 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in 6 seasons. Kind of a wild, 666 conundrum there. Why not Alex Orji, though? Why do we think it's not going to be Alex Orji? I believe coming out of fall summer camps and going into fall camp next week, that Alex Orji is a step behind, a sizable step behind for that opening day starter, right? He's a physical freak. He's been turning the ball over, right? He does not play mistake-free football. And you hope with his physical tools, he can scramble, get out of there. But sometimes instead of scrambling for an easy 10 yards, even in 7-on-7 drills, he tries to force the ball into a tight hole, gets intercepted. The interception percentage that we've heard in the 7-on-7 drills over the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've heard it's like 15% of his passes are getting picked off or should have been picked off when he throws them. So he's going to be given the opportunity to seize the job in fall camp. But unless those mistakes go free, go way down, I should say, Michigan does not want to lose a game against Texas, second week of the year, big noon kickoff, because Alex Orji throws 3 or 4 interceptions in the second half in a tight ball game. They'd rather play that 2021 style, Cade McNamara, where it's running the ball, playing mistake-free football, and having the best defense in all of college football. Let's get to know our expected Week 1 starter, Jack Tuttle. He was a 4-star recruit way back in 2018, crazy enough. 110 player overall, right? He's one of the best quarterbacks in college football. Enrolled at Utah, was an early enrollee. So think how long this guy's been in college. He's an early enrollee in 2018. Now he's getting his 7th year in college football. Didn't ever play, transferred to Indiana, got 2 starts in 2020, played another 2 years there as a backup, and then in 2023 transferred to Michigan, and this will be his 2nd year in Ann Arbor, and I'm predicting that he will be your Week 1 starter. Last year, 15 of 17 passing the ball, so I kind of equated him last year, if you really think about it. Orji was the backup, but they never let him pass. He always would run the ball or hand it off in the second half of games. But Tuttle was your passing backup, 15 of 17, not a big, body of work, 120 yards, and that 1 touchdown. Going back to his 2 starts, right? He started the final game of 2020 and then the bowl game for Indiana, went 1-1 as a starter, 39 of 67, 331, had like 220 yards in one game, 110 or something like that in another, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So you saw that first graph we had. Don't expect him to be lighting the ball up over the field. If he starts those first 2 games and has more than 200 passing yards in either one, I will be shocked, right? He's going to throw the ball 15 to 20 times, and Michigan's going to run the ball 45 times until either he or Alex Orji or hell, maybe Jaden Davis or somebody else later on in the year show that they throw the ball downfield with precision and without making big mistakes. So there's the take on the quarterbacks. Want to hear who you guys will think have more starts at quarterback the entire season. Tuttle is going to get the start, in my opinion. First game, second game against Texas. After that, we'll see where things shake out. So give me a JT if you think Jack Tuttle will start the most games. And Alex Orji, give me an AO down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. So Tuttle will be your game one starter. Will he keep the job, right? Even if Michigan has what will be a small upset win against Texas, a Texas team that should beat Michigan, but we know how Texas is choke artists, etc. Can he keep the job? If Michigan loses to Texas, I think that third game, right, they're going to split either, go back and forth, one series another, or first quarter, second quarter, see who goes from there. And Orji's going to be given the ability to win that job. If, though, Michigan does beat Texas, when Michigan beats Texas, that doesn't guarantee Tuttle's going to have the job. It just means we got through that one, but in 2 weeks we got USC. And 2 weeks after that, we got Michigan State. And 2 weeks after that, we have Oregon. And 3 weeks after that, we have Ohio State. So it doesn't get any easier for this. And somewhere in there was Washington on the road as well. So we'll see what happens. But if you're expecting J.J. McCarthy's antics and hero ball when Michigan needed it for this team, it is not on the cards, at least the guys that will play early on in the season. Is Jaden Davis the answer in the future? We shall see. Later on in the show, we're going to talk about CRYIN Day. CRYIN Day is back making excuses about why he can't beat this Michigan football program. Today's show is sponsored by GameTime. Jack and I use GameTime to go to the national championship game in January, and recently I was able to snag tickets to the Home Run Derby and the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Because GameTime is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets easier and faster. Prices on the GameTime app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch or the first snap. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets to events. Hell, with the Michigan football season right around the corner, GameTime is the perfect app for Wolverine fans. I love their last-minute deals. You see up to 60% by buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater shows, etc. All in pricing. Maybe this is my favorite feature, is you toggle this feature back and forth. You see what the prices are up front, so no surprise fees at checkout. And then seat views. I know, Jack, I know I have. You buy tickets, think these are great tickets, boom, you get a foul pole taking up half of your view. Not with the GameTime app. You see your seat before you press buy. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem using code CHATSPORTS at CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. The link and the promo code are down in the comments and the description of today's Michigan Football Report. Before we talk about CRYIN Ryan, let's talk about our best of the summer. The guys who have put in the work since spring ball in late, March into late April, and have taken a step up. And some of these are household names and really kind of have that big jump up like a J.J. McCarthy had this past season. And some are names that maybe be less familiar with who expect big impact on the field. How about Jair Hill? All right, signing day surprise in the two years ago class. Big press conference. Jack, you're not alive for that. Remember Jair Hill's press conference out of the state of Missouri? And come on, big time. And I now expect him to be in the starting lineup, whether that's the second cornerback or maybe even shifting over to that Mikey Samuel nickel role. Jair Hill, true sophomore, going to be a starter-level player, and I think a big impact on this 2024 team. How about Donovan Edwards? The Don. 75 yards, 85 yards. He's had quite a summer, right? He's gained 15 pounds. He's put the work in the weight room. And the goal of that is that Michigan can trust him in the red zone, can trust him if he doesn't, break one outside of 30 or 40 yards. He never really got in the end zone in the prior 3 seasons. But he was looking like a stud. You see this outfit, all white suit, absolutely just looking like a runway model at Big Ten Media Days. He was all over the place, the EA Sports College Football 2025 cover boy, and hopefully that propels him. There's no curse. Propels him into an even more epic season that will, cap a marvelous career that has given him the name Big Game Don. Lesser known name, Frederick Moore, right? Sophomore wide receiver, redshirt freshman. I can't remember if he actually played in 5 games or not, but he is one that I think can have a similar impact to maybe better than Samaj Morgan did last year, right? They were classmates. Morgan kind of beat him out there, but I think Frederick Moore is going to be more of a downfield guy. Maybe even feeling a little bit on the Ronnie Bell role from a few years back, right, where he's not going to catch 60 or 80 or 100 balls, but he is the player that Michigan goes to in the red zone, puts the big body, catches the ball, doesn't get it knocked out, and can use his size to score touchdowns if and when Michigan decides to throw the ball in the red zone. I don't know if he's going to start from game 1, but I would bet by the end of the season, outside of Colson Loveland, he is in your top 2 or 3 pass catchers on this team in 2024. Get to know the name Frederick Moore. Coming up next, the transfer, Jason Barham from Barham. We had a little disagreement about it. From Maryland, right? He's got one career interception against who? J.J. McCarthy, right before halftime in the 2023 game in College Park. The game I was at that was actually brutal to go to because it was so damn windy, like 50-mile-per-hour winds. But he's a freak, right? He was one of the biggest recruits on defense in Maryland football history, a top 125 guy 2 years ago. Coming into his junior year, 2 full years of eligibility left. I think he's going to make a huge impact. Definitely one of the 2 starting linebackers this season. Keep an eye out for him. Maybe you didn't follow the transfer portal this year. Jason Barham. And last but not least, Kalel Mullings, right? Converted linebacker, kind of a Hassan Haskins. Everybody knows Kalel Mullings, but he's come up with some big plays over the years. Also some bad plays, right? One would say Michigan was in the national title game in back-to-back years had he not fumbled at the goal line to start the game against TCU to end the 2022 season. Sherrone Moore was asked about him at Big Ten Media Day. He said, the guy that's not talked about enough is Kalel Mullings. He's going to be a force. He's unbelievable. He looks as good as he has. Donovan Edwards also talked about Kalel Mullings, and now he expects him to get big-time yards, right? I don't think it's going to be like in 2022, 1,500 yards for Blake Corum, 950 for Donovan Edwards, but I think whatever Edwards gets as carries are concerned, I'm going to see Mullings get about half that, maybe 40% of the carries. So a game, Donovan Edwards gets 18 carries. You're going to see Kalel Mullings get 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9 carries in a ball game because Michigan, the expectation here is they're going to put the ball on the ground carrying it 40-plus times every single game unless one of these guys gets a bionic arm and starts turning into the next Peyton Manning of college football for this 2024 squad. One more request for you guys. Quick request. We'll ask you one more time. Subscribe to the channel if you have yet done so. Give us some motivation to get back on doing a daily show. Hell, Jack, we might go twice daily, right? Some shows around here doing twice daily. We might do that too a couple days a week. Get us to 50 subscribers today. So I'm going to be on a trip next week. I come back the following Monday. Michigan will be in full fall practice, and we will be doing daily shows thanks to you, the Michigan football fanatic. Last story of the day, CRYIN. Take a look at this interview he did with Sirius XM College Radio. This quote here, that was a very good team, but we still should have won the game, and we didn't. This Ohio State head coach Ryan Day evaluates last year's loss to the team up north and how he ensures it doesn't happen again. And what's going to happen again, Ryan? It's going to happen. He continues on to the game in 2023, which, in fact, they led for a grand total of 0 seconds. You look at all these different things, you make the decisions and figure out how far off we are, and there are major changes that have to be made or not. That was a very good team, talking about Michigan, but we still should have won the game, and we didn't. Well, so Ohio State fans may disagree with me. You might say, Kyle McCord threw an interception. What I saw in that game was 2 things. I saw Ryan Day jumping around like a weirdo with all the players for the game, which totally gave off weird vibes. The whole team was probably freaked out. What is this guy with droopy eyes and just for men hair dye doing jumping around in the game, high noon in the big house? Weird vibes, right? Weird vibes. The other thing is this. Marvin Harrison Jr., the best wide receiver in Big Ten history, Marvin Harrison Jr. Short-arming 2 passes that happened to be the 2 passes intercepted. Your guy, Marvin Harrison, made a business decision like the Bosa brothers did, like Jackson Smith and Jigba did. Winning the game was less important than getting my number 2, number 3, number 4 draft pick money, and that's why Ohio State lost, because Ryan Day has instilled a culture of soft little pussies. And then they reflect the coach. What did we say last year, Jack, in April? What did we say about Day? We said, I would not want to have a beer with him because I like guys. I can't have a beer with you if you don't do 3 of the following things. You got to like football. Day likes football probably. You got to toss an F-bomb every once in a while and mean it and not sound like a soft little bitch. And what's my other one? You got to do that. Swearing, football, and beer. Yeah, I guess the beer is the other one, right? So you got to like beer. I don't think I'd ever have a beer with Day because I think he probably sips on seltzers instead of having a beer with the boys, going to a gentleman's club, something like that. His program resembles, his behavior resembles his Just for Men hair. He's been the coach of Ohio State going into his 6th season. The only win he's got, remember, is with Urban Meyer's players up and down the roster, and then an SEC superstar quarterback transfer that stole a victory that Michigan should have probably had in 2019. But since then, right? This is the 5th season this decade. 0 wins against Ohio State. Just an absolute failure of a coach against everybody, against Michigan. He beats up on everybody else, right? He's the bully in 7th grade. You guys all remember that guy. He had a beard at 13 or 12 years old. He already had armpit hair. You're still, 4'8" with, little twig arms, whatever. I was kind of like that till I was like in 9th or 10th grade. That's Ryan Day, right? He is that guy. when everyone else grows up and gets bigger, they all can push back on him. But the second there's another kid, another school that's already hit puberty in 7th grade, they just lose, right? Going up against Michigan, going up against Georgia, going up against Alabama. That's Ryan Day. I want to remind you guys, beat Ohio State again. Maybe the most impactful political slogan in the history of college football, maybe in the history of America. Beat Ohio State again. I see no reason why Michigan won't and shouldn't do it again here in 2024. Not because they're more talented, because a coach on the other sideline is scared of his shadow. So I want to ask you guys one last thing. Comment Bosa on every single video you see from us this season leading up until that 12th game of the fall schedule. Week 14, ironically, because Michigan has 2 buys prior to it. Comment Bosa on this video as many times. How about this? I'll make a deal. For every time you comment Bosa beat Ohio State again, that's how many times points Michigan's going to score against Ohio State. So I'm going to drop 40 points again, like the 3rd straight year or 2 last 3 years. Comment 45 times. That's how many points Michigan's going to score in Columbus like they did 2 years ago. Want to give a shout out to the producers of the show, our contributors, $10 super chats or higher from the 2023 season. Watch today's end screen. Thank you so much to everyone. We'll be back a week from Monday. Daily programming. It's the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. Go Blue.